Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss part 8 of Unit 3, Diversity of Life. The images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. In this particular video lecture, we are mainly discussing about animal kingdom, animal body pattern and their symmetry, development of body cavity in invertebrates and vertebrates, and certain silent features with reference to habitat and examples of phylum Porifera and Coelenterata. Okay, so mainly animal kingdom are classified into various categories on the basis of their body organization and some other features. So animal may have cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, or organ level of organization. For example, sponge. This is a very good example in which cells are arranged in a loose cell aggregated form. So they exhibit cellular level of organization. Sponge is a very good example of cellular level of organization. In Coelenterata, cells perform same function are arranged into tissue form. Okay, so in Coelenterata, tissue level of organization is there. Okay, Coelenterata, tissue level of organization is there. Third type is organ level. So organ level is exhibited by the members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissue are grouped together to form an organ, a type of organ for a specific function. Okay. So in animals like Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Chordata, okay, organs are associated to form functional system and each system concerned with a specific physiological function, and this pattern is called organ system. Okay, so all of them like Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Chordata, they found organ system level of organization. Okay, second type is depending upon the body symmetry. Further, animal kingdom is classified depending upon their body symmetry. Right. So, first type is asymmetrical. Means any place that pass through the center of that animal does not divide them into equal halves. A very good example is sponge. Okay. हम कहीं से भी स्पंज को काटेंगे इक्वल हाफ में वो नहीं डिवाइड होगा. So that type of organism comes under asymmetric category. They have asymmetric body type, sponges. Okay. Second is radial symmetry type. Organism. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divide the organism into two identical halves, as you can see over here. If you will cut from this side or from this side or from this side, right? So through the central axis, this is the central axis. Okay, so the organism divide their body into two identical type. Though this type of category is known as radial symmetry. And Coelenterata, Ctenophores, Echinodermata means starfish comes under this phylum category, right? They have this kind of body plane, radial symmetry. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divide the organism into two identical halves. Third one is bilateral symmetry. Third one is bilateral symmetry, when body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane. Okay, so all the organisms, all the animals belong to annelid phyla, arthropod phyla, they comes under this category, bilateral symmetry. Okay, so this is how, according to the plane of symmetry, we can further divide animals into various groups. Third, depending upon the germ layer. As you can see, there are three types of germ layer which arise during embryo formation. First is, outermost one is ectoderm, innermost is endoderm, and in between there is another layer known as mesoderm. So three germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderms. These are the germ layers which arise during the embryo formation. So all kind of tissue and organ develop from these three germ layers. Okay, so depending upon the number of germ layers present in the embryo, animal we can divide into two categories, diploblastic and triploblastic. Okay, so depending upon the number of germ layers present. So first type is diploblastic. Animals in which cells are arranged into two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm layer. They are called diploblastic animals, like Coelenterata. Coelenterata is having two type of layer, ectoderm and endoderm. Second category is triploblastic. Triploblastic, those animals in which developing embryo has three germinal layers. Third germinal layer with these two also. And that third germinal layer is mesoderm. This one is present in between ectoderm and endoderm. This one is present in between ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, what are the examples? Platyhelminthes, and from Platyhelminthes to all the animals till Chordata. Okay, so this is the third type of classification through which we can classify animals into various categories. So as you can see over here, this is the picture of diploblastic germ layer. This one is having this purple one, ectoderm, and this gray one, endoderm. Okay, and this is the triploblastic, Platyhelminthes to Chordata. They are having all three layers: ectoderm, this purple one, endoderm, gray one, and the red one in between, mesoderm. This is known as mesoderm. And while all those organisms which are having only two layers, so in between there is this red space is known as mesoglia. Okay. Now, fourth is presence of coelom. Okay, so what is coelom? First, we have to understand the term coelom. The fluid cavity present between the body wall and the alimentary canal is known as body cavity, and the body cavity which lined by the mesoderm is called coelom. Okay, so the body cavity which is lined by the mesoderm is known as coelom. Okay, so coelom is a body cavity which is lined by the mesoderm. So presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is a very important in classification, whether coelom is present or not. Okay, so on the basis of the presence or absence, we can further divide animals into various categories. First is coelomates, means all those animals those possessing this coelom body cavity comes under this category, like mollusk, arthropoda, echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata, they all comes under coelomates category. Second is pseudocoelomate. Pseudo means false. Okay, so in some animal, body cavity is not lined by the mesoderm, not lined by the mesoderm. Instead, mesoderm is present as a scattered pouch. This is present as a scattered pouch in between ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, so such body cavity is called pseudocoelom. Okay, and the animal possess them are known as pseudocoelomic animals. And SK helminthes are the good example for this. SK helminthes contains pseudocoeloms. Okay, third type is acoelomates, means they are not having coelom. Acoelomates, the animals in which body cavity is absent. Okay, so platyhelminthes doesn't have coelom in their body. Okay, so platyhelminthes belong to acoelomates, SK helminthes belong to pseudocoelomates, and remaining others belong to coelomates. Okay, so these are three type of coeloms. Coelom, this white region is known as coelom. This one is present from annelids to chordata. Pseudocoelom, only scattered pouches there. This is pseudocoelom. And third one is acoelom, when there is no coelom. Okay, so these are the three pictures of coelom. Now, fifth feature on the basis of segmentation. In some animals, body is externally and internally divided into various segments with a serial repetition of at least some organ. So, serial repetition. For examples, in earthworm, body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation. Okay, in which externally and internally body is divided into serial repetition of segments, and this segmentation is known as metamerism. And this is a very important feature of earthworm. Okay, in which body is externally and internally divided into various segments with serial repetition. Okay, sixth is on the basis of notochord. On the basis of notochord. What is notochord? On the basis of notochord, notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure from the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animal. Okay, so notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordata. Animals which don't have notochord are called non-chordata. Okay, and on this non-chordata, what are those phylum comes under this category? Porifera and Echino. Porifera to Echinodermata, all those comes under notochord data category. Okay, on the basis of sex, unisexual or bisexual, when both male and female sex organ are found in single individual, that time we can use the term bisexual for the same. Okay, when both male and female sex organ are found in one individual, we can use the term bisexual for the same, or monoecious or hermaphrodite. The meaning of these all three words is same. Bisexual, monoecious or hermaphrodite means both male and female sex organ are found in one individual. Okay, when an individual is either male or female sex organ, it is called unisexual. Uni means only one type, either male or female sex organ, or dioecious. Okay, so on the basis we can further classify animals into two different categories, whether it is bisexual or unisexual, whether it is monoecious or dioecious. Okay, now next type is developmental type. Means when animal can direct, it can be direct if the young one is resembling the adult one in all respect except size. Okay, or it can be indirect when the young one is totally different from its adult one. Means young one do not resemble the adult. Okay, the young one usually pass through some intermediate stages known as larval stages, like you found this in insects, in amphibia. Okay, so we can also categorize animals on the basis of developmental way also, in which young one totally resemble when they are with their adult form except size, or when young one do not resemble the adult one. Okay, so before attain the main shape of the adult, first they follow their larval form, and then slowly they will develop into their adult form. So this one comes under indirect category. Okay, on the basis of fertilization also, in some animals fertilization occur outside the body of female, and this is called external fertilization. Okay, in water they just fusion of male and female part occur. Okay, so fertilization is external, like in frog fertilization occur outside the body of female, while in some animals like reptiles, bird and many mammals, fertilization occur inside the body of the female, and this is called internal fertilization. Okay, on the basis of egg or what is the exact term, direct birth. Okay, so some animal lay down egg, and from egg the individual, after development, individual offspring has been developed. Okay, so oviparous is a Latin word that originated from ova, means egg. Okay, means कुछ एनिमल्स होते हैं जो एग प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, और कुछ होते हैं जो डायरेक्टली ऑफ स्प्रिंग्स को बर्थ देते हैं. राइट, so we can further categorize animals into two different category, oviparous and viviparous. Okay, viviparous means direct birth to their offspring comes under viviparous category. Okay, oviparous, those animals which first produce egg, and from egg their offspring will produce. Okay, another type of categorization is cold-blooded animal and warm-blooded animal. Cold-blooded and warm-blooded. Most of the animal cannot generate internal heat. Okay, all those animal which cannot generate their internal heat comes under cold-blooded animal category, like insects, like worms, like fish, amphibia, reptiles, all those comes under this category. Only bird and mammals comes under warm-blooded animals. Okay, so animals whose body temperature does not change according to the weather, according to their surrounding temperature, means they themselves maintain their body temperature. Okay, they comes under warm-blooded animal category, and in this category only birds and mammals, avian and mammalia, these two phylums comes under this category. Okay, mammal and birds, they all belong to mammals. Dog, cat, monkey, tiger. Okay, while here you can see amphibia, fishes, reptiles, they all belong to cold-blooded category. Clear? Okay. Now, classification on animal. So this is Animalia kingdom, which is multicellular in nature, and we further divide Animalia kingdom into various categories depending upon their level of organization, whether cellular level or tissue level or organ level. Okay, on the basis of symmetry, whether radial symmetry, asymmetric, radial symmetric, or bilateral symmetric. On the basis of body cavity, this all we have discussed just now, right? On the basis of coelom, they have coelom, coelomates with false coelom, pseudocoelomates, or without coelom, acoelomates. Okay, so on the basis of cellular level means cells is there, then porphyra, phylum comes under this category. Cellular level of organization is there. Tissue level, right? Symmetry, radial symmetry is present in Coelenterata and Ctenophora. We can further divide radial symmetry into Coelenterata and Ctenophora. And bilateral symmetry without body cavity means body cavity is not there. There is no coelom. Platyhelminthes or phylum Platyhelminthes comes under this category. They all are acoelomates without body cavity. With false body cavity or pseudocoelomates, SK helminthes comes under this category. With true coelom or coelomates other than all those porphyra, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, SK helminthes, all those like Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordate, Chordata, they comes under coelomates category. Okay, so this is how broadly animal kingdom classified based on their common fundamental features. So first phylum is Porifera. Porifera means pore-bearing animal. They are having so many pores in their body. Okay, so Porifera is the only phylum of animal kingdom without any nervous system. Without any nervous system. They don't have nerve cell system. तो बहुत बाद में आएगा. They don't have nerve cells. Okay, so members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetric in nature. There is no symmetry in sponges. Okay, they are primarily multicellular animal, have cellular level of organization. This we have already discussed. They have only cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enter through multiple pores present on their outer surface, and this multiple or minute pore is known as ostia. Okay, ostia is present on the body wall into the center cavity. Spongocoel, what is the name of center cavity? Spongocoel. From where it goes out through the osculum. Okay. So this pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiration, respiratory exchange, and removal of waste. So for food, for respiration, and for removal of waste. Okay. Coinocytes or collar cells. This collar cell line the spongocoel and the canal. Digestion is intracellular in sponges. Okay. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Spongin fibers. These spongin fibers act as a skeleton system for them. Sex is not separated, so they are hermaphrodite. Both male and female sex part is present in the same sponge. Means egg and sperms are produced by the same individual. Okay. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation, and sexually by gametes, male and female gametes, egg and sperms. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage. Development is indirect because they are having so many intermediate stage, means first larval stage, okay, which is morphologically distinct from the adult one. Okay, what are the examples? Cycon, Spongilla, or Euspongia. Euspongia, this is a picture of Euspongia, popularly known as bath sponge, and this is Spongilla, freshwater sponge. These are found in freshwater, and this is the Cycon. This is found in marine water mostly. Okay, so this is all about the Porifera phylum. Remaining phylum we will discuss in the next video lecture. In this video lecture, if all the doubt has been clear, that is very good. If you have any doubt, any point you want to discuss, you can write down to me in comment box. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.